Guys, how's it going? Hankster Reviews here. Today I would normally do a Star Wars related video, but just last Thursday the Captain America Civil War second trailer just came out, and it just caught me off guard, and it was so great and I loved it. And I really want to do I've never done these kind of videos before. I have done it with the Power Rangers adult movie, but I'd like to do a breakdown and a review to this trailer, which I look forward to doing. So yeah, if you all know, Captain America Civil War is my third anticipated film of the year, which is second place is Batman vs Superman, and then it's X-Men Apocalypse. And if you're familiar with the comic, which I have got myself, I'll just go get it quickly. That a lot of shit happens, but it's not really related to the comic as such. I think it borrows elements of it, but it's not quite the same. And did I enjoy this to the previous trailer? I would say they're both on the same level, literally. I know there's a lot more stuff that's quite revealed in this trailer, but there's so much I loved about the first trailer. The music to it, how Cap his friendship with Falcon and Black Widow and Tony Stark, and that ending bit in the first trailer when he says, "I'm sorry, Tony, he's my friend, so was I," and that always gives me goosebumps every time I hear that trailer. Is it the best Marvel trailer? I would say it's definitely up there, along with the Age of Ultron and the Iron Man 3 trailer, of course. And so yeah, about this trailer, I think what this one stands out from the other trailer is that it has a different, it focuses on the main plot of the film than the first trailer, which focuses on probably the first act of the film. You know, Steve Rogers is trying to defend his friend Bucky Barnes, but other people are retaliated about that. And they have this massive battle, and they think, and unlike this trailer, which focused actually on the registration and deployment act of this film, and you see how they actually fight with one each other and how they are so mad at each other. So yeah, this is what I kind of thought of this trailer and how much I love the first trailer. So the first trailer and the second trailer I both love, and they both are equally as good. I can't believe I'm saying that. But I will be doing a breakdown to this video. I won't be doing all of the trailer because there's so much to do. I've already been writing down like freaking scripts to this, so I'm not going down the whole trailer. I'm only going things that are quite new to this trailer, which we haven't seen in the first trailer and the Super Bowl spot. So yeah, let me just get ready, guys, and I'll be with you in a moment. I just need to go through my words, and we'll talk about this whole trailer. Okay, guys, I'm going to start from beginning to end. I'm not going to jump straight into the Spider-Man stuff, even though I really want to. But I think there's some great things through the beginning of the trailer that we need to discuss first. So it starts off with the Arctic or somewhere really cold, and you see Bucky Barnes in status. I don't know why. I think they captured him in the first act, and they finding out what to do with him. At first, no difference to see what we saw on the TV spot for the Super Bowl, but now we're moving on to probably my favourite bit of the trailer, the bit I really loved. You have this scene that's in the debriefing room, and you got the new team of the Avengers of from Age of Ultron. You got Captain America, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Falcon, and War Machine, and it's General Thunderbolt Ross, who we haven't seen since the Incredible Hulk, and this shows that the Incredible Hulk is linked to the main Marvel universe, which I pretty liked, and we won't see Red Hulk. Before you start asking questions, we won't see Red Hulk, even though I think it's so obvious that they won't do it. You got Thunderbolt Ross. He showed him the previous events that's happened over the past 4 years, really, through Sokovia, New York, and Washington, And there's also other stuff like in Wakanda and in London. They didn't show the trailer, but you got to admit there were some crazy events during the past few years. And you see their faces, the destruction, the cause, the deaths, and the chaos that happened, and they try to avoid it. And Cap says, "Okay, that's enough showing us." And it really goes to show that even though the day is saved, homes get destroyed, families get hurt and probably murdered, and that is a really not only does it give a message, a realization to our heroes that we love, but I think this also gives a message to the audience, that the people who love these heroes, and not. I mean, if you want to watch something that everyone's fine, not much destruction, go watch a cartoon or something. But the realization of these characters and the destruction, and the members of the audience realise, oh, actually, some people have died, even though we haven't seen it on screen. But if you think about New York, even though New York was saved, buildings were destroyed, and who's to say there weren't people in those buildings? And Sokovia lost half their land, for God's sake, and it really is crazy when you think about that. And that's what that thing that really kind of, whoa, okay, now Marvel fans think they realise now, oh, actually, not every day's a victory. And if you see Man of Steel, straight away people moan about how many people died in Metropolis because of Superman. And it's like, yeah, but at least Batman vs Superman deals into that straight away in the next film. I like in the Marvel universe where they won't deal with it for it takes them 4 years and 5 films to realise that. And yeah, I think this, and then they go on to this thing called the Registration Act, the Deployment Act. I think there's a good word for it. I don't know. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't be asked. But yeah, if you're familiar, the Civil War comic is something about superheroes should give in their identities and should be controlled by the government. Employed by the government, sorry. But this one is more of being employed by the government and being controlled, and showing what they should do and what they can't do. They should focus on more people than... They try and focus more on more saving people than very few casualties, unlike they try to stop casualties. And yeah, it's a really kind of brutal scene in that. And I love Thunderbolt Ross in that particular scene. I think he's only in that one scene. I don't think he's going to be in German airport being Red Hulk. But that is such an incredible scene, and I think I can't wait to watch it on the big screen. The next bit now, and I think this is in the first act of the film, and you see, I think it's Africa. You see T'Challa crying over his dad, aka Black Panther, of course, and I think it was a union meeting with lots of important people. I don't understand the whole politics and stuff like that. But you see this this emotional scene, and you see this massive destruction and explosion. And I think this is in the first act, along with Crossbones and Hydra, whatever. But this does open a lot of questions now in that particular scene, because I was saying to myself, hey, is this the origin story of Black Panther? Even though I think Black Panther won't come out till 2018. I think this could be the origin story, and if so, does the Civil War how long does Civil War go on for? If you've seen Age of Ultron, it only goes on for like a weekend. It really does. But in Civil War, does this take 6 months in order to build the character of Black Panther? That's what I was saying to myself. Or maybe, because in the comics, Black Panther is kind of passed on to father and son. So that's what I kind of think, but it's hard to tell in this trailer. And in the comics, I know I shouldn't be really to compare it to the comics, even though I'm going to treat this completely different. I'm not going to compare this to the comic at all. But you know how in Civil War a fight happens and it kills like a whole school of children. In this one, it kind of kills a lot of important people. Union meeting. And do you think, I have this feeling in my head, I doubt it, but I kind of think Hydra or Baron Zemo or Crossbones is trying to frame the Avengers and trying to see what they really are and which they're not. And that's very a brutal scene, even though I doubt it's going to happen, but it could happen at all. I think it really could happen. And this is where the next bit is when Tony Stark says, "This is where I come in," or something like that. I think he says that, and he takes the Registration Act, the Deployment Act, into his own hands. When he says, "We need to be controlled, we need to be unchecked. This is what happens if I'm not unchecked. I created a supercomputer that almost destroyed destroyed the world." I'm referring to Age of Ultron. If you see that, when Tony Stark kind of hides it from his friends, when he's kind of trying to build this supercomputer that benefits the team, but he actually doesn't. And you see this character, and he's completely different from what we saw the Man in the Cave back in the first Iron Man film. And you see him not become bad, but you kind of understand him, and you kind of root him for him, seeing, oh, okay, I think I understand you. I think, yes, some people do need to get in check before they get too carried away. I think they're full of it. One of the next scenes is the whole prison coming out of the ocean. You know, is it called the Raft? Is it Prison 42? I would have gone for the Raft. Prison 42, if you don't know the comics, Reed Richards, Hank Pym and Tony Stark come up with 100 ideas to make the world better, and number 42 was build a prison for the supervillains. Even though I doubt it, because they don't own Reed Richards and Hank Pym they don't get along. So that's what I'm referring to. But the Raft is a prison in the ocean built for supervillains and people who are against the Deployment Registration Act. And even though, and this is funny and ironic, because really, if you think about it, there isn't any supervillains left apart from Loki. And how would that work? And even though Loki, I think Loki can get out of that. So that's what I was thinking. But to be serious, I think this is mainly for Captain America, and supervillains we may not see in the screen yet. Maybe they have been fighting the supervillains. That's what I'm kind of thinking to myself. But yeah, this whole Raft, it's like a $700 billion prison that's built for supervillains. No supervillains at all. But I think it's mostly, this is used for the film, and I think this is where Tony Stark and Steve fight in this last act of the film. That's what I'm thinking. And actually, there's one more thing I'd like to say about the Raft. I think this Raft is not only a prison, but I think it's a lab. And listen to this. I think if you see through the pictures, you see there kind of bodies in these tanks, and I kind of think they're cloning their own heroes, kind of like what they did in the Civil War comic. Like they, in the comics, Thor was dead previous, and they cloned him, and they used the cloning to build their own heroes, so each country can have their own superhero team, so they don't have to rely on one superhero team. And even though it's really hard to tell, a lot of things could happen in this film. And I think this is one of them I could stand by with. This is where, I mean, if you see it, it kind of looks like, if you see in this particular fight scene, and you see this tank and this person, I think it's Quicksilver. And this is what I'm thinking. They're kind of building their own superhero team. Something I will stand by, but I think that's going on, really. Through the trailer, this is one of the things that they go more in depth and they kind of extend it in this trailer, is Rhodey gets blasted and gets shot on the sky, lands, and Tony Stark is holding him, removing his mask. And I don't want to say, is he dead? Because I really want to say no, because I love Don Cheadle's performance since Iron Man 2. And I prefer War Machine over Iron Man. Ever since I was little, I was more invested in the characters in War Machine than Iron Man. But no, would he die? They make it's so obvious in this film. If he dies, I'll be very upset. But I think, will someone die in this film? I really don't know. We've seen people die in these films and they come back. We've seen Phil... I can't remember, Iron Man's bodyguard in Iron Man 3, they always come back at the last act or some other film. So this is what I don't think he's got to die. They're making it way too obvious for it. But you see how he gets crashed down. He gets blasted by this yellow beam, and I only have three possibilities. One, it could be Fission, who's maybe switched sides or something like that. You have Iron Man, who kind of had a misfire, or you got a third party. Could be Baron Zemo, could be some other thing. That's what my three possibilities are of how Rhodey gets hurt. Moving on to his third party theory. You've seen it in the first trailer, but you see Black Widow walking on top of something, and she sees these massive explosions during the airport, and I don't think that could be a third party, because I don't know who could be capable of doing that. But I think that could be Baron Zemo. I think this is some kind of trap or some kind of controlling thing. This is what I would say about this. Another scene in this trailer, sorry, is one of my love this scene. It's Vision, and he's getting forced to his knees by Scarlet Witch magic or powers, whatever. And for a long time, for who's on Iron Man's team, I don't blame you because you got the Vision. I think he's probably the most powerful one in the Marvel films. But you just see him on his knees and he can't control himself, and Scarlet Witch is just owning his ass. And you say to yourself, is there a limit to what Scarlet Witch can do? I mean, you see her in Age of Ultron, how she can manipulate the Hulk and how she can evacuate the people easily in Sokovia, and controlling one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe is strictly incredible. And I love Elizabeth Olsen's performance in Age of Ultron. I really think she's very attractive, more attractive than Scarlett Johansson. And but is there a limit what she can do? And that's a bit off topic, but I love Scarlet Witch. I think she was one of the best things I loved about Age of Ultron. One of my top 5 things. And moving on to the fun stuff. This guy was in it, and yeah, it's a bit of a Lego minifigure. But I love the upgrade to his suit. I really do. I think I kind of grew on me at first, because I normally don't agree with upgrades unless you really do need to upgrade it, like with the Captain America suit in the first Avengers film. But I kind of grew on it. I didn't like it at first because I kind of think it looked a bit too robotic, but I kind of grew into it. I like how it's a bit more matchy, it's a bit more sleeker, and yeah. And there's this scene. So you got Hawkeye, and it's iconic from the comic books, of course. Hawkeye's giving Ant-Man a boost from his arrow, and he's on his arrow, and there's this scene where you've got Iron Man, and he's keeps on running up his arm, and I think that was pretty cool. I love that scene so much, and yeah, that was one of my favourite scenes of the film, and it's just a bit of a nerdgasm, to be honest, but yeah, I love Ant-Man. Just to let you know, Ant-Man's my 5th favourite Marvel film. I enjoyed it, and you didn't see Paul Rudd in this trailer, but you saw Ant-Man, so I think, I don't know what to expect from Ant-Man in this trailer, but I really loved that scene. And another iconic scene was with the last act, I think it is the last act, with Steve Rogers and Captain America, and Iron Man says to him, stand down, final warning, and Steve Rogers says, I can do this all day. And that goes back to the first Avenger, sorry. And that was just such a cool scene, and you see him brutally taking him down. Oh, that was really great. I love that scene. And there's something to go in depth with that scene, of course. It's just a bit of a tribute to the first Captain America film, which I really liked. I still think Winter Soldier's better, but I really like that one. It's probably one of my favourites from the first phase of Marvel. Now let's talk to the great stuff, the really great scene of all, the porno shot, or should I say. You have Spider-Man in this trailer. 2 things I want to talk about in this about Spider-Man in this trailer: his appearance and his costume design. I'll talk about his appearance. In the last 10 seconds, you see Tony Stark says, "Alright, I have enough patience. On the Rus," and Spider-Man comes on, takes his shield and webs his arms. And he says, "Hi everyone." No, he does sound like that. I'm not sure Tom Holland's gone through puberty yet, but that's a different story. But this scene is really good, and I love this. And at first, I kind of think they should have done that, because I thought Spider-Man would try and be a big secret, but I couldn't think, since a lot of things you see you see that in films, a lot of leaked footage or leaked pictures go online. So sooner or later, before the film, I think we would have got a bit of Spider-Man, and I think that would have ruined it. So it was best to do it in style in this trailer. And I did like his appearance. I think he's going to play a significant role, but he's going to be quite a small film. He was only filming for 2 weeks there, so I don't think he's going to be in it for that long. He might have changed his mind, give his shield back to Captain America, and swings off. You pardon the pun. But the design of Spider-Man, even though there's been 3 costume designs: the Sam Raimi, the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And this one's a bit more. A lot of people complain about it, how it looks too cartoony and how it looks a bit too plasticky. And it is CGI, but I don't know if it's CGI or not, because people say it isn't, and it's kind of like really hard to tell. But yeah, I've seen this trailer probably 50 times or something ridiculous. The first 5 times I saw Spider-Man in this trailer, I was a bit too, I don't like the costume design, I don't like this bit of the CGI, and I don't like that. And the more it grows on me, because you've got to make it different from the previous costumes, but you've got to be something unique. And there's a lot of things I liked about this costume. The CGI to this is fantastic. I like the spider is slightly smaller in this. Oh, I've got my Spider-Man t-shirt. But it's slightly a bit more smaller and a bit more crammed in, I would say. And you also see the red spider in the back. You didn't see that in the previous Spider-Man costume, so I like that. It's a bit more blue in the middle. It also has the black lining, which is a really new addition to it. You never see. It's a new addition to the Spider-Man. And you got it on the back, and you got it on the shoulder blades as well, which I really liked. And he has web fluid, so he does have his own web cartridges on the side, which I really liked. And they're not going for the organic web from his own body like they did with the Sam Raimi films, which is fair enough. And the eyes, I really like the eyes, because it really represents the comics from the 1960s, and also through the comics, through people's artworks. If you really research that, I really liked about that. Do I like Tom Holland? Yeah, even though he's a bit, I kind of disagreed about how young he was, because it makes you feel how old you are, because he's like, I don't know, 17 and I'm 21, and it's like, oh. And when I was like 5, the Spider-Man I had was 30, so it kind of makes you feel really old. But this addition to this trailer, I really liked Spider-Man in this trailer. It was amazing. I think Tom Holland's going to be great. I think Spider-Man's going to be great in this trailer. I think Spider-Man kind of is probably the second best thing about this trailer. If I had to rank the top 3 in this trailer, it would be the debriefing room scene, then it would be the Vision scene, the Vision and Scarlet Witch, then it would be the Spider-Man scene. That's how I would rank them. So there's a few things we didn't get in this trailer, which I'm really happy with, because I kind of think you should put it in the film. We didn't see Baron Zemo in this film. He's kind of like the leader of Hydra, and even though I don't think he's going to be a main villain, but I think he'll probably die in this film, so we don't really care about it. We didn't get the Everett Ross, who played by Martin Freeman in this film, who's kind of like the chief of protocol, really, for foreign countries. He's kind of like Black Panther's ally, which we didn't see, but I think he'll come back in Black Panther, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I am looking forward to Black Panther. But the one thing I was hoping to get in this trailer, other than instead of the Spider-Man, was the Giant Man scene. I really wanted Giant Man to be in this film, even though there's no confirmed saying Giant Man will be in this film. But if you've seen the Lego sets, and they do them so early and they leak them on the internet, you see this Giant Man in this whole airport area, and it's quite cool. And yeah, we didn't get in Giant Man. That was the one thing I was really looking forward to this trailer, but we didn't get. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Giant Man in this trailer. So yeah. So overall thoughts, guys. I love this trailer. I'll probably watch it a few more times. We've only got we kind of got like a month and a half left for this trailer. I will see it opening day, of course. I don't care if it's not IMAX, but I will definitely see this film when it comes out. But yeah, overall, I loved this trailer. It was great. One of the best trailers, of course. I loved pretty much everything about the trailer. Same level of the first trailer, of course, but I'm definitely looking forward to Civil War, and the stakes are really high, not just for the plot of the film, but also to the film financial success, since a lot of things are shoved in this film, a lot of characters. And I keep saying to myself, yeah, it's not going to be Avengers 2.0, it's going to be Captain America. The more you think about it, it kind of is going to that. But I believe in this. I believe in this film. Really, I really want it. I mean, will it be better than Winter Soldier? I don't know what to say about it. I really liked it to be better than the first Avengers, even though the first Avengers is my favourite. But I really want this. If I want this film, how would I want this film? I want this to be the Empire Strikes Back of Marvel. Really, I wanted Age of Ultron to be the Empire Strikes Back, but this trailer is gonna. But I think this film's going to be, and I think Age of Ultron was kind of like a prologue to Civil War. That's how I treat it. But yeah, guys, I'm really looking forward to for this trailer. But alright, guys, I've got to go now. I'm off to see Kung Fu Panda 3. I've got a lot of work to do. I will be doing another video next week some point. I don't know what I'm going to do it on. I think I'll go back to my Star Wars stuff unless another trailer comes out. It's Doctor Strange maybe. But yeah, but this is it now, guys. I'm Hendrix Chaplin, and I've got your back.